Why should I give money to a church? We're going to discuss that in this video. This video is a part of a larger series of videos called The Disciple. If you go to our YouTube channel, Bethel Pittsburgh, go under playlist, you'll find a playlist titled The Disciple. And in there, you'll note that the titles of the videos will say The Disciple and then a category. And all the videos are coordinated into the categories, those category orders. So if you want to move from category to category, that's how you can navigate that. And this one is under the category of ministry. So doing ministry sometimes entails financing, and there's all different reasons for that, and you may dislike certain aspects of it, but it takes money to make certain things take place. And the Bible does talk about the use of money for ministry. I'm just going to mention a few of them. We're going to start with an Old Testament basis, and it expands into the New Testament. I think I have other videos in this series that talk about a lot more exhaustive approach to those other areas, but this one we're going to just highlight a few passages. The first one, the most common one to utilize for tithing, is Malachi 3:10, which says, "Bring the tithe, the full tithe, into the storehouse, that there may be food in my house." So I'm bringing money to the storehouse in this instance. In Malachi, it's the temple, and I'm doing that so that there are certain resources available at that place. So I'm financing certain activity. In this case, it was food for the festivals, food, animals for the sacrifices of those sorts of things, which a lot of that food and stuff did end up going to the priest and the Levites for provisions. So that sits there. Again, I know that's Old Testament, but hold on to that for a moment. Then in 1 Chronicles, and if I remember, I'll put the references in the description of this video, but 1 Chronicles 29, verses 6 to 9 says, "Then the leaders of the fathers' house, then the leaders of fathers' houses made their free will offerings," so they bring offerings, "as did also the leaders of the tribes, the commanders of thousands and of hundreds, and the officers over the king's work. They gave for the service of the house of God 5,000 talents and 10,000 derricks of gold, and 10,000 talents of silver, 18,000 talents of bronze, and 100,000 talents of iron. And whoever had precious stones gave them to the treasury of the house of the Lord in the care of Jehiel the Gershonite. Then the people rejoiced because they had given willingly, for with a whole heart they had offered freely to the Lord. David the king also rejoiced greatly." What they were bringing financial resources for were to finance the building, the structure of the temple, and later years would be the maintenance of that structure. So you get financing for the resources within, you get finances for the building itself, and then in Philippians is where you get a New Testament appeal. Philippians chapter 4, verses 15 to 18, "And you, Philippians, yourselves know that in the beginning of the gospel, when I left Macedonia, no church entered into partnership with me in giving and receiving, except you only. Even in Thessalonica, you sent me help for my needs once and again. Not that I seek the gift, but I seek the fruit that increases to your credit. I have received full payment and more. I am well supplied, having received from Epaphroditus the gifts you sent, a fragrant offering, a sacrifice acceptable and pleasing to God." So here we have finances are going to the support of the minister in this instance. And so you have, in these three passages, financial resources coming in from the people to take care of the resourcing of materials within the organization, the financing of the building and maintenance of the building, and the financing of the the staffing of ministers. And so those are things that we see actually a number of places. They come up in Scripture, and they come up in different ways. And the different ways that they come up is what creates the challenge that people have with interpreting what's taking place. But I want you to at least see that it is a definite biblical idea to finance ministries. So modernly, what happens within a church? And what I want to encourage you to do, if you're a part of Bethel, I encourage you to start giving financially. If you are a part of some other church, I encourage you to give to that church financially. Whatever church that you consider your home church and you are interacting with is a church that you should be financing. Because when you walk into the building, I want you to make certain considerations. So consider the building that you're in and compare it to your house, and then think about what amount of financing it takes for you monthly to pay for your mortgage. Now, in our instance, we don't have a mortgage. Other churches do, but to pay for your mortgage, to pay for the utilities. In our case, we have utilities. To pay for the maintenance and upkeep of those facilities and the cleaning of those facilities. And think of that expense, and then magnify that by the size of the building and the way that a church building is used, and you have a financial need there. Then consider additional things, like for us, lawn care. That would be the case for some homeowners as well. Plows, so we have to pay a certain fee every time a company we contracted with has to come out and plow and salt the parking lot. That takes resources. We utilize a dumpster, and we have to pay for. It's not just garbage man comes to your house and picks up the garbage on the tax dollar. For a church that has a dumpster, there is no garbage pickup. We have to actually pay a service fee in order for that to take place. For us to be able to stream and do certain things online and allow people to even utilize Wi-Fi within our church, particularly during our gatherings, there's a fee involved in paying for that Wi-Fi, just like you do in your home. So there are a number of expenses like that. There's other fees as well, bank fees and things of that nature that we accumulate over time. Then there are ministry supplies, and so we have volunteers that run the children's ministry, and they have need of curriculum to utilize to teach the children. There is a cost to that, a quarterly cost to that. We have print materials, we have food events that we supply food for. A lot of times food is provided by volunteers, but there are times that food is provided for by the church and the resources of the church. There's times that we do rewards and giveaways. So there's different supplies, paper products and those kind of things that we have to, bottled water, that we have to purchase, coffee, all of those kind of things have an expense to them. Then there is, and our outreaches, things like that have an expense to them. We try to keep those expenses down to a minimum as best as possible, and we're grateful when people volunteer to just take care of those things, but nonetheless we still have expenses. And then we have a part-time employee that manages our financial records and our accounts and things of that nature, as well as some administrative tasks, and to be able to assure that we have someone set aside to take care of those things, there is a part-time salary to that. Then you have a pastor, and in order to allow the pastor, me in this case, to have the freedom to dedicate a full-time employment towards it versus needing to work another job and then be more limited in what could be done in the leadership and oversight of the church, there is a salary involved in that. And a church can survive without a paid pastor It can have a bivocational pastor. But from my experience and what I've observed with churches in those positions, it really does create limitations on that church when the church is in that kind of position. And so when you give, so consider maybe how much you make per month, and how much would be required to allow someone to not have to work a job, plus a part-time employee, plus the maintenance and the resourcing and taking care of the building and all of those things, and utilities, and consider how much money it will cost to run the church from month to month. Magnify it larger because you are in likely a smaller house and different needs. And so consider all of that sitting out there that the church has need of. And when you come to church on Sunday and there's an offering received, I encourage you, please consider, based on what you think the need of the church is, giving to the church. Whether it's you're a part of this church or another church, give, financially support the church, even if it's what's just maintaining the ability to continue to do what it's already doing. Please finance the church. If you have any questions on that, leave that in the comments below. I'd be glad to answer them. Or if you would like to grow in your faith in person and you live in the Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania area, we would love for you to join us. We meet Wednesdays at 6:30 p.m. and Sundays at 10 a.m. We're Bethel Assembly of God, 2501 Staten Street. Or if you can't join us in person, you can always join us on live. We stream our 10 a.m. Sunday services live on our YouTube channel, Bethel Pittsburgh. We'd love to see you there. May God bless you.